How much of reality is real? Is it what you make of it, or what you perceive of it? We're taking a quick peek at Californium. Californium is an exploratory game focused on multiple realities. Inspired by the works of author Philip K. Dick, the game was published by Arte France, Arte being a public service television channel that focuses on cultural programming to help promote understanding amongst Europeans. They brought together two different companies, Darjeeling Productions and Nova Production, to create both a video game and a documentary in tribute to Dick's work. You may recognize some of his stories, as many of them have been previously adapted to film, such as Total Recall and Blade Runner. Dick's work tends to focus on what reality really means and how it's defined, as well as altered states of thought and drug use. Californium dives deep into these ideas with the story of Elvin Green. Green, similar to Dick himself, is a writer, but he's a writer with a problem. Green has a bit of a drug use issue, which may be the cause of his inability to finish any of his writing assignments, or what he uses to try to deal with the fact that he seems unable to get any work done. Unhappy with his life, Green becomes the lab rat of some unknown voice and begins jumping through multiple realities, searching for his place in the world and his meaning in life. It's an interesting story and presented quite well. Californium is nothing if not artfully designed, and the game could take a really nice screenshot. That is to say, everything looks nice as long as you don't move around too much. The game has a pretty bad issue with screen tearing, both with and without VSync enabled. It's really distracting and extremely noticeable, since exploration and looking around are the mainstays of the whole game itself. Mechanically, Californium is what many would call a walking simulator, since the most of what you do is walk around. I've always found that name to be a bit mean when describing narratively focused exploratory titles. It's true that some of them do deserve to be called walking simulators, as they don't do much to try to replace missing gameplay mechanics. But a game like Californium really tries to get you to delve into its narrative. It tries, but it mostly falls flat. The thing that I feel Californium really suffers from is the lack of character. Elvin Green, for how good or bad he is completely silent, and he's the only person that you learn anything about. Everyone else constantly changes as you continue to break the world you're in. Even reoccurring characters can change who or how they are, since every dimension has a different version of that person. The only thing that ties it all together is the overarching disembodied voice in Elvin's head, who tries to sound philosophical in response to the decisions that you make, even though the game doesn't actually let you make decisions at all.
Do you suffer from existential instability, Elvin? I may call you Elvin, may I not? After all, we're like close friends now. You used to have no future, but here you are with a present. However, this world does not suit you, and you're attempting to peel back the layers of reality.
It's completely linear, so you either do what the game lets you do, or you just don't play it. In between bits of story, as Elvin's life becomes constantly more self-important, while also becoming more and more complicated and dangerous, you can talk to people and explore the world around you. Everyone seems to have something to say, and the voice work is great.
If I may say so, you're as elegant as ever.
Well, except for a couple people.
Some guy from Narc Squad was grilling me all morning. He wanted to know who was dealing Crystal 8 in the neighborhood. So I said, why, you want some?
Remember how old FPS games like Wolfenstein 3D used sprites, which made things like tables and chairs always look at you no matter which angle you viewed them from? Well, that's how Californium handles its characters. They make Elvin the complete center of attention at all times, which I guess is supposed to be symbolic, but it ends up being disjointed from the true 3D environment surrounding them. Also, I find the art style chosen for the characters to be generally really ugly, especially for this guy. There's more to do than just talk to people, as the game is about tearing the fabrics of reality. How you do this is simple. Go to an area, activate a TV, which will then create anomalies in that area. The number on the TV tells you how many anomalies you need to activate in order to slowly open the rifts to another dimension. Californium gets a bit clever in how it hides anomalies from you. Sometimes they'll be right out in the open, but generally you'll have to meet specific requirements for them to show. Either looking at it from a specific direction or a specific spot, activating it while running, or waiting for something in the environment to change quickly and trying to grab it while it's different. It really gives you the feeling that you're breaking the established world order, and I love that you can only reveal little bits of the next reality at a time, giving you plenty of time to guess at what's coming up next. There is one little problem with this mechanic though. It's tedious, and it's boring. Sure, the first few rifts you open are nifty, but the glamour soon wears off as you search the same room for the 100th time. Multiple times I found myself fatigued at the idea of looking for more anomalies and spending time going in circles just trying to find the last one in an area. This particular area took me about half an hour to an hour to find the last one. It's not all that fun. There aren't any hints or really anything to clue you into where these little buggers are. Of course, this can be subjective, as someone else may be able to find all of the anomalies rather quickly, but I just got so tired of symbol hunting that it really broke me away from the story. Well, that and the glitches. Californium could really have used some polish. I've constantly come across floating items that should be laying on something, as well as glitching decals for things like windows and posters. You've also got to be careful about which rifts you open when, as what they change can block your path to an anomaly you haven't activated yet. There's also the time that I got stuck in an elevator, and the multiple times I got into an area I wasn't supposed to be in before I was supposed to be there. Since I hadn't triggered the events to let me into that area, I couldn't trigger the events to allow me to leave. Thankfully, Californium has a chapter select menu, and you can restart any level at any time. But when I say restart, I mean you have to completely restart that chapter from the beginning. So you have to reactivate all of the rifts you had previously opened. I ended up putting around 4 hours into Californium, and I would imagine most of that time was spent either searching for rifts or redoing areas due to glitches. The overall tedium of Californium's gameplay completely ruined what it was attempting to do with its narrative, and narrative is extremely important in an exploration game like Californium. These kinds of games need interesting characters and a solid connection to the story to replace the mechanics they forgo. Without those, all you end up with is a walking simulator, which sucks because Californium can be both clever and interesting in spite of itself. The game is available for $9.99 on both Steam and GOG, and the developers have been nice enough to include the soundtrack when you buy the game, which is always great to see. If you think that you can get past Californium's rift hunting, I would say give the game a shot, since I really do like its story. But if you're not interested in narratively focused exploration games, or don't want to deal with searching for rifts, then I would suggest you give this game a big pass. Thanks for watching. Please let me know what you think about the game or this video in the comment section. I'm Mega Pie Man. I'll talk to you guys later. The goal is simple: get the correctly colored cube to its correctly colored square in the least amount of moves possible. It's a simple idea that Nicholas expanded upon rather well through 10 episodes with 8 levels apiece. Every episode does a good job introducing you to